So the brain is made up of a lot of different parts, and localization is basically the idea that each part of the brain has its own function.
Cerebral hemispheres is the brain divided into two parts. We have the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. The right hemisphere controls the left side of the body, and the left hemisphere controls the right side of the body. The corpus callosum attaches both hemispheres, which allows communication between both the right and the left hemisphere.
The brainstem. The brainstem is the part of the brain that connects to the spine, and it controls the functions most important to staying alive, like breathing, heartbeat, sexual reproduction, swallowing. The brainstem contains the reticular activating system, pons, and medulla. The cerebellum is near the bottom and back part of the brain. It is primarily involved in balance and coordination of movement. The cerebellum occupies only 10% of your brain, but it actually contains about half its neurons.
The thalamus is located in the middle of the brain, and it's the brain's sensory processing center. The hippocampus is part of the limbic system, and it's involved with spatial memory and long-term memory.
So, the frontal lobe, it's located in the front of the brain. This is part of the cerebral cortex, right behind the forehead. This is involved in thinking, planning, and purposeful actions.
The frontal lobe of the brain, it's the area of the cortex that organizes information amongst other lobes of the brain. It is responsible for higher order thinking, organization, and planning. I use the frontal lobe of my brain by waking up and doing my makeup, which that obviously takes a lot of time. I have steps. I have to, I guess, think about what I have to do.
The parietal lobe is located in the top and the back of the head, and it involves touch and perception.
The occipital lobe is located at the back of the brain, and it's involved in vision.
The temporal lobe is in the lower middle section of the brain. It's it's between the ears. It's directly involved in hearing and speech production. The temporal lobe, as soon as a sound filters through the ear, the first place it goes is the temporal lobe, which then processes what it has heard, then allows you to use the other parts of the brain to speak.